Hi everyone, welcome to PBA 405, lesson 14. We are on our final lesson of the semester and at the same time starting the review period for the final exam that is going to open up next Sunday morning at 8 a.m. So simultaneously, the review document for the final exam is posted, and at the same time, lesson 14 is posted. Lesson 14 is covering statistics, which is a very important aspect of policy analysis, given that quantitative analysis, which is numbers-driven analysis, compared to qualitative analysis, which is more subjective feedback that's gathered, is oftentimes a foundation upon which a policymaker justifies a policy. Think of it this way: if somebody wants to make sweeping legislation that's going to make a big change, people want to know that there's some data supporting it, that there's some numbers that they can point to say, hey, this makes sense. Whether it's dollar signs, whether it's number of people benefited, it's the statistical analysis is often very important to the policy analysis. There are multiple types of statistical analysis. We're not going to get into too many of them, but I will give you an example of one. There is, it's called regression analysis. Regression analysis seeks to find correlation between variables to predict and explain variance between variables. For example, if you wanted to find out what day your favorite professor always wears the color green. So basically, you collect a bunch of data and all the days of the week, and then you also have all the days of the week that he or she put green on. And so you run a correlation between the days of the week, variables, and the green, and you discover that Mondays are always a 1-to-1 correlation with when green is, but none of the other days have a correlation with the professor wearing green. So you've now identified and explained the variation between green and wearing other colors by saying this is the day of the week that this professor wears green. There are a few issues with that. You can't always predict the future. You can't always look at that and say, every Monday from now on, the professor is going to wear green. But you can say that you have a statistically proven analysis that explains why and what day the professor was wearing green. So that type of regression analysis and the correlation analysis is very important, because when you start dealing in more complicated variables, for example, with climate change, you can have a variable such as did a country participate in the Kyoto Protocol, and at the same time look at a variable such as the contributions of environmental toxins into the planet, then you end up with finding a very good statistical analysis on whether or not a country that participated in the Kyoto Protocol was more likely to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So when you get into those multivariate analysis, where you're dealing with more than just one or two variables, you can deal with hundreds of variables. Oftentimes you're in a position to discover some very interesting facts that can guide you along your way as a policy analyst. So anyway, that's just one example of a statistical analysis method that's used oftentimes. Let me talk a little bit about the final exam. We're in a period now of review, so I've posted the review document. So this week leading up to when the exam is posted, we're going to be I'm going to be available for you to contact by phone, by text, by email, by visit. Feel free to give me a holler anytime if you have questions. I will give you this secret tip. The review document is the best way to study for the exam. If you do a thorough job of going through the review document and making sure that you understand what it says and the pieces that it contains, then you're going to be in very good shape. It's not to say that every single little piece is on there. There are 25 multiple choice questions. There are 4 short answers. There are 2 essays. It's the exact same format as the midterm. So y'all are practiced at that. I think for the most part everybody did really well in the midterm. If you prepare the way you did for the midterm, you ought to do really well on this one as well. So that all being said, I'm here for you. Just let me know what I can do to help. This is, again, the Lesson 14 introductory video, and welcome to Lesson 14, and y'all have a fantastic week. Let me know if you need anything. Thank you.